Welcome back to the Nash Potatoes Outdoor Show. Today, I'm at Warren Dunes State Park. I'm going to show you some of the beautiful hiking trails along the shoreline of Lake Michigan. And right from the get-go, this trail is quite beautiful. There are some maps along the way, and I'll talk about those as we go. But I started out at the hiking trailhead, as you see, and almost immediately it turns quite sandy and is so beautiful. We are actually headed towards the beach area, and I'll show you a few shots along the way. This hiking trail is great for bird watching. Make sure you bring lots of water because it is quite hot out in the open heat. But the view of the sand dunes is just so beautiful, and the dune grass. This is actually my first time to Warren Dunes State Park. So I'm very excited to get out and explore. My mom was pregnant with me when she was there, and so obviously at that time I didn't see a whole lot. But these dunes are so fun to hike on, especially knowing that you have just about a mile to get to the beach. It's not like we're hiking 5 or 8 or 10 miles. It's just 1 mile to the beach, and then there's a bunch of other trails that you can hit back in the woods, which I'll show you shortly. So as you can see, there is Lake Michigan off in the distance there. I had a nice sunny day, which makes the colors pop in my video. And a little zoom in shot. I was amazed at how big the beach area was. So I'm actually doing a separate video highlighting the beach area and the campground. I'll be posting that tomorrow or the next day if you're interested. The beach area has 4, 5, maybe 6 different concession stands, offering pizza and gifts and all kinds of different stuff. So here's a little 360 shot from down in the gully. As you can see, there's sand for as far as you can see, but just over that hill right there is where the lake is at. If you do this hike, make sure you bring your bathing suit. I don't know why I didn't bring my bathing suit, but it was quite hot, and all I wanted to do was just jump in the water. They actually do have a separate area on the beach for dogs as well. So if you've got a dog, feel free to bring them and head to the dog beach. So this is just a portion of the parking lot. Their parking lot that's probably half of the parking lot. So that's where the hiking sign is at. You're going to want to try and find that if you take my route. I wasn't exactly sure where to go, so I was a little bit anxious about that. So you're going to be looking for this sign right here. As you can see, there is a map. And then going from that point is a little bit tricky to find this little sign there. But going through the woods is just so nice. It's shaded and a little bit harder gravel, so it's a little bit easier than walking in the sand. And the bugs weren't too bad. There were gnats and whatnot, but I didn't really have many mosquitoes to deal with. There was a nice little breeze, but as you can see, it almost looks jungle-esque. It's really, really quite beautiful to go from the stark contrast of the hot, sandy sun going back into here where it's tons of shade. And there were some really scenic views that I just really enjoyed. I'll show you more here in a second. So speaking of the hiking maps, this map is in the wrong location. I'm not sure why that is there because I am not at number 3. I'm at the red square right there. I'm like halfway to number 3. So the trail maps were kind of confusing. You should definitely bring your GPS with you. I would recommend All Trails or something along those lines. On this day, I was using Map My Walk because I brought up the GPS and I'm like, what the heck? Like I'm not at number 3. But anyway, as you can see, more trees. And then there are some elevation changes right here. This was quite steep. Little did I know I was kind of going the wrong way. I'll talk about that here in a second. But it was a great view. I think this might be called Mount Randall right here, that viewpoint. And then as you come down, there's even more beautiful views like this. And it's really hard to follow the trail because as you can see, there's all these different offshoots going this way and that way. But as long as you know that you're going in the general direction, eventually you'll meet up with the rest of the trails. This is maybe one of my favorite shots of the day right here. My goal is to make every video better than the last, and so I've been playing with different video tricks and whatnot. So I started out at 2, and then I went to 1, and then I wanted to go to 3, but I made a wrong turn. And where I actually went was 2 to 1, and then I made it halfway to 3, and then at Mount Randall you can see I took the wrong turn and ended up back at 2. So right now we're gonna head to number 3 and then on to number 4. It wasn't that big of a deal, but just know that these trail maps are not that easy to follow. So we are off to number 3, and then we'll continue on to 4, 5, 6, and then I think 14. And at the end of the hike, I'll show you the exact route that I took. Oh, this dragonfly sits. He was sitting still, so I could zoom in with my GoPro there. The GoPro doesn't have much of a zoom in, so I actually had to just get closer and closer to him. I love those dragonflies. But as you can see, this dune coming in from the left is quite steep. I think that is actually Mount Randall, but you'll see I'll pan over to the left. And so if you've got kids and whatnot, they will love climbing these dunes, man. As a kid, I used to love running down these dunes. Look how steep that is. And then, so we were actually finally made it to number 3, as you can see right here. And then we were on to number 4. And this part of the trail becomes much less sandy, still full of trees. The bugs weren't that bad. There was a beautiful stream, so if you have a dog, then they can get a drink of water and whatnot. Ran into some wildflowers, which are quite beautiful. And then I captured this butterfly just for like a couple of seconds, but towards the end of this video I was able to get a beautiful shot of, I think, a monarch butterfly, and there's a story behind it as well. So there is this little stream that your dog would love to take a drink out of. And this part of the trail actually, I think, doubles as a cross-country ski trail in the wintertime. Oh, here's a beautiful bird. I was able to identify some birds using my Merlin bird ID app, as you'll see here a little bit later on. I'm not sure what that one is, but it was quite beautiful. I love zooming in on these shots like this. I wanted to mention one camera trick really quickly before I forget to tell you. But if you ever go out with your handy cam and you do some zoom in shots, when you zoom in, stability is everything. So if you wear a hat like this, then when you zoom in, you can actually use the brim of your hat for stabilization. It comes in so handy when I'm photographing like birds and stuff that are often far away. And this Sony Handycam I'm using, it does have good stabilization. So as long as I keep it somewhat still, then the picture turns out amazing. But not only does the hat keep the sun off my forehead, but it also helps with stabilization. I thought you might like to try that out next time you go hiking. Let's keep on moving. All right, now we are on our way to number 4. It's always reassuring to find a map along the way, because if you've never hiked it before, you kind of don't know where you're at. So here's another little video trick I'm playing with. Just capture something in the foreground and then zoom away a little, or pan away a little bit.
I've been watching this show on Hulu called Stitched, and it's these fashion designers that compete for $10,000. And this lady, she was really, really talented, and at the beginning of the show she gave this quote that I really like. It says, always believe in yourself and you will be unstoppable. And that's such a good reminder for me, because I'm pretty talented in a lot of things, but for whatever reason my confidence can be lacking on certain days. And in the video I'll list her name and everything, because she was really talented but she lost in the very first round. And but believe in yourself and you'll be unstoppable, and that's what I've got on my brain today. But this hiking trail is so much fun. Let's keep on going, and hopefully I'll show you some more wildlife and all that good stuff, probably the campground as well. So let's keep on moving.
Here's a huge tree. I love getting these things on video. Must be a big oak tree or something along those lines. Reminds me of the tree at the Black River Preserve in South Haven. So here is a bird I was able to identify with my app. This is a northern cardinal. That one was pretty easy to identify. But I will actually identify another one later on in the video that I didn't actually see, but I could just hear it. All right, we're finally at number 4. We're gonna head off into number 5 and number 6. I did hike almost 8 miles on this day. It was quite exhausting. And if there were bugs anywhere, it was along this loop at number 6. The trees were a little bit denser and kind of lower. It was a lower area, so the bugs were a little bit bad along that loop. So if you don't like bugs, you're just gonna want to pass by this loop right here. And then I've got this little chipmunk coming up, and he was so cute. He's staring at me, trying to figure out what I'm up to, and I'm looking at him, trying to figure out what he's up to. And then I just started talking to him for a minute to see if he'd respond, and he kind of does. Are you just gonna stare at me, buddy? Come over and say hi to me. Come over and let me pet you for 1 second. Please? Can I pet you? Come here, buddy. Are you thinking about it? No. And then I keep getting these caterpillars on me when I'm hiking, and I'm trying to figure out how the heck is this guy getting onto my clothing, and I discovered how. They hang from the trees and then they just land on you. They were all over in the campground, hanging from the trees. And I'm not sure what that's about, if they're trying to find somebody to ride on or what, but so I had to set him free. He's cute with a little furry face. Yeah, here's another little camera trick I'm playing with. Beautiful maple leaf. You kind of focus in on the leaf and then do like a 180. I kind of like it. So we are hiking just up a little ways here. This part, I think I'm headed off to like number 14. Ooh, this is beautiful right here with all the trees. But it did get a little bit steep, which I kind of enjoy. Out in Colorado, there are some really drastic elevation changes. So when I find elevation changes in Michigan, I try to just kind of enjoy the moment. So here's another one of these dunes that just kind of come out of nowhere. Look how steep that is. And I'm not sure where that went to. That was kind of intersecting with the trail that I was headed to. If I had more energy, I would have hiked up there just to see. But here's a bird I identified. I wasn't able to find the bird, but it's an eastern towhee, which looks really beautiful and sounds beautiful. I just wasn't able to find him. Some more wildflowers here. So this butterfly, there's a story behind it. She was flying past me, and I said, "Oh, will you please land so I can just take a quick photo of you?" And she did. She landed and just sat there for like a minute or two. And then when I was done taking video, I said, "All right, we'll see you later." And then she took off. It was like the cutest thing. Me and my buddy call them synchronicities, where everything just kind of lines up. Nature and my life just lined up in that perfect moment. But so beautiful, it almost doesn't even look real. All right, we're getting close to the end here. I am huffing and I am puffing, but the view is quite beautiful. You're gonna wanna see. And I'll show you a summary of the route that I took if you're interested. Yeah, this was really beautiful. Nice high overlook. So as you know, I started out at the parking lot at number 2, and then I went to number 1, and then accidentally went back to number 2, and then 3, and then 4, and 5, did the loop at 6, and then out to 14 is where I went. And as you can see, that was 7.3 miles. That was quite a distance, but it was a fun route. So I would recommend doing something along those lines. But that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching the Nash Potatoes Outdoor Show. My next video will be about the campground and the beach. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Keep an eye open for my videos. Have a great day. We will see you next time.